Hi everybody, my name is Victoria Teel and today I'm going to be teaching you 3 of the top belly dance movements as well as a combination to put it all together. So let's go ahead and get into it. So belly dance is super fun, it's super accessible to everyone, and also it's low impact and can be a great workout to build flexibility and strength. Also, a little bonus for today, everything that we are doing does not require space. So if all you have is that little thing, that little space beside your bed or your closet, that is just fine. That's all you need. Okay? Now, I do want to also preface that you need to make sure that you have warmed up. Anytime you start any kind of new exercise, any type of movement, do not just roll out of bed and then try to do it. You're not going to like me, you're not going to like your body the next day. So please make sure that you have a proper warm-up, whether it's other exercise or other activities throughout the day before doing any of the movements. Now, posture. This is actually the first thing we're going to be getting into because it's going to be the same posture for all 3 techniques as well as the combination that we're doing today. And especially for beginners, you want to start getting acclimated to what proper belly dance posture is because it helps prevent any future injuries from anything, and also it will allow you to really perfect your technique. So what that posture is. So what we are going to do is work from the floor up. So I'm going to talk about your feet, your knees, your hips, chest, you get it, upwards. So the first thing is the feet. Now this is kind of a standard belly dance posture for most of the fundamentals you would learn. Over time it will change a little bit, so always keep that in mind. Now, feet. So what you want is first of all your feet in parallel, which means that your toes are pointing forward ideally. You do not want to be turned out where your toes are to the side, and you definitely do not want to be like this where your toes are in, okay? So they're straight forward here, okay? Now also for the width of your feet, they're not squished together like this and we're not really open either. It's a nice happy medium for everything in belly dance. So for me personally, I like to have my feet underneath where my hip bones go, okay? So if they're here, and you feel that little there, it's there. Now, for everybody, this ratio can be a little bit different. Some people need to go a little bit more out. Some people need to go a little more in. Just do not sandwich your feet together and do not step outside of your hip range, okay? Find what kind of works for you. I also want to give the little side note too. If you notice you feel a little more comfortable with your feet ever so subtly turned out, just a tiny, tiny bit, this is okay, okay? Everyone, there's some small adjustments for everybody. So now what we're going to do is into the knees. What you want to do is always have soft knees in belly dance. There's never a hard lock or a hard, any situation when it comes to the knees because we want to protect them. So what you're going to do is bend your knees just a little bit. I'm going to show you from the side. So when I'm here, you're going to just bend your knees here like this. What you want to make sure is that you don't feel like you're doing an awkward squat. That's too far. And if you want to catch yourself, if you feel like you're standing like this, which is usually how most people like stand in line at the grocery store waiting for something, it is too straight, okay? So nice and soft here, okay? The next thing is the pelvis. I'm going to stay to the side. We want a nice long spine. So what that means is instead of having the pelvis relaxed back or super tucked, you want it just underneath you, nice long through that lower back, okay? This is really, really key to preventing injury or pain with all of this hip movement. If we are like this and you feel that kind of contraction on your spine in the back, you're not gonna like it tomorrow, okay? So please make sure this is a super crucial one. Now, when I do tell people that some people really grip and pull forward like this is obviously not cute either, okay? So happy medium, yeah? So underneath here, nice and relaxed, nice and long. Now, chest. You want to be proud and confident when you are dancing. So we do not want to sit like you do at a desk, yeah? Where you're kind of down like this. You want to roll the shoulders back, open chest, present forward, open through your collarbone and through your neck. You're here, your chin is lifted, not like this, okay? This gives you really that posture that you need. What you will feel is if your knees are bent, your pelvis is under, you roll back in here, you're presenting, you feel very stacked, very in line here. Life is good. Stomach relaxed. I forgot that one. Relax, okay? Through here. Now for the sake of today, to keep it simple, I'm not going to go too detailed into arms. When we're doing movements today, you can either just put them out to the side like they are on 2 high kind of bar stools or a table, or you can have it down by the hips here. whatever is comfortable for you. It's not too much to focus, but you do just want to make sure from that shoulder you are rolling back, okay? And that is basic posture for everything we're doing today. Now that you know the posture, we're going to get into the first movement, which I refer to as a hip bump. Now, a little side note in there for you. You'll notice in belly dance, if you start to research more and more, terminology shifts a little bit. It's going to be the same move, but there's not a lot of like formal terms for all movements in belly dance. So that's always my preface, but what I like to call this is hip bump. So what this movement looks like, let me just give you a quick preview, is this motion here, okay? Now, how to do this, okay? First thing, find that posture. So toes forward, knees soft, pelvis underneath. Roll those shoulders back, open, place the arms wherever you feel good, and be proud. Now, we're gonna start this without the heavy accent, and we're gonna do it in a more soft manner to get the idea and protect the knees. What you're going to do is you're going to put your hands on the widest part of your hips, okay? Here, we'll take them away a little bit. The widest part here. Now, what I want you to do is straighten one knee. So for you guys, I want you to straighten your left knee here. So straightening the left knee, and as I do that, I let my right knee, your right knee, bend, okay? Now I'm going to alternate. So I'm just alternating my knees back and forth, back and forth. Now, what you're gonna feel is a little bit of your pelvis on the outside, right? Going like a pendulum, out, 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 out. Now, I'm gonna tell you some common mistakes, so watch for these, but keep doing the movement in your lower half as we go. So, common mistake number one is letting your overall level or height change. So what that means is if you might have something like this, where you see how I'm subtly kind of bobbing, any type of vertical movement that you do is going to take away from the size of the movement in your hip. So stay down, okay? And out, out. Almost like there's something blocking you from standing up more. So what that does is allow the movement to absorb into your hip here, okay? Now, the next thing too, keep doing this. I'm just gonna turn to the side so you can see. Another little tricky spot that happens is people let their heel pick up when they relax the knee, like this. And that is another place that takes movement away from the hips. So keep your heels flat. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm relatively feeling my weight stay even between my heel and my toe, okay? With this movement here. Go side, side, side. If you feel a nice little stretch through that IT band through here, life is good, okay? And you have this here. So this is just a soft movement. This will also become the fundamental base of something else down the road, okay? But now we're gonna start to add that accent. So the accent basically means when it's sharp, like this, versus what we were just doing, which is soft. So to create that motion, you have a quick movement and then a stop, and a quick movement and a stop. Now, when you do this, what's going to happen is I'm going to think about pushing my hip out to the side. Remember, I'm straightening this knee, bending this knee. But as I straighten, please do not, let me show you here, lock the knee. There's no locking ever, okay? So you should feel your hamstring kind of stop you. Let me show you that versus that. Do you see how I still could go back more, but I don't let myself, okay? This is what's going to protect you. So as we do this, let's just nice and slow. You're going to go whoop, over to this direction, so knees nice and soft, and boom, and boom, and boom, and boom, and boom, and boom. Now, if you start to feel your thighs, a reverb, I always like to say, just keep this up as I talk to you. When you slam on the brakes of your car and if you feel that in your thighs, you're good, it's good, I promise. Everybody it happens to. Everybody, okay? This is what you want. If it gets uncomfortable, this is when you can start to experiment with how wide your step is, okay? So we have this movement here. Now, what I just want to do is some practice. What I want to do is we're going to go to the side, so to your left, we're going to go left, left, hold, right, hold, and keep that going, okay? 6, here we go. Right, left, hold. Da, da. I called the wrong direction, sorry. This way. For you, left, hold, right, hold, 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 bum, bum, hold, da, 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 hold, 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 relax. Good. Okay? So this is the hip bump. You can do this in so many ways. Soft, accented, time changes like we did, speed changes, whatever you want. But we're gonna go ahead and get into that second movement now. Movement number 2 for the day is going to be the hip circle. So what I actually want to do is break this down into smaller parts, and then we'll put it into what is actually the hip circle. Let me show you the hip circle now. So it looks like this. It could also be the other direction. That can always change. But the overall concept is from bird's eye view. My hips would be making a circle around my head, okay, from bird's eye view. So it's happening in this horizontal plane, okay? Now we're gonna do, like I said, kind of break it down into smaller parts and then put it together for today. So what I want you to do is, first of all, find that posture. Yes, toes forward, knees bent, pelvis under, shoulders back. Yeah, okay. Now what we're first gonna start with is sliding the hips. Now this is a separate belly dance movement in itself, one of the, another fundamental movement. But what's happening here is, and just kind of follow along, trust your body, it will start to feel better as you go. I'm shifting my weight from to the side, for you to the right, to the left. And as I do that, I'm letting my hip go, but I'm trying to keep my chest in place, okay? Now, what you also want to do is think of this, if you're getting old enough to know this, reference, there's an old computer game called, I think, Pong, right? Where you had the 2 little bars and 1 ball. And what would happen is you would start like this, okay? And the ball would just back and forth, yeah? So this is what you want to picture your hip doing. It's on that horizontal plane. It's not kind of going like this. Your pant line is staying straight. Just keep it going with me through all the explanation. Keep working. Good, good, good. So here, side, 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 side. Some people feel a stretch in their legs. Some feel it through their obliques over here. Whichever, it's okay. Biggest thing is that you're not bouncing and you're trying to keep your chest in place, feet relaxed. Also with this, please make sure that you don't roll out on your ankle. Injury, okay? Keep the weight towards the inside of your arches at all times. It may shift from foot to foot, but it doesn't go to the outside of each foot, okay? Now, the next part is front and back. And this one was like the worst for me when I started dancing. So, find that posture again. Toes forward, knees bent, pelvis under, shoulders back. And what you're going to do here is push the pelvis front, pull it back. I'm putting my arms here just so you can really tell what my lower body is doing. Front, pull back, front, pull back, front, pull back. Now with this, when I go front, I feel like before I used to kind of just feel like a stretch. It's really a contraction, but you could feel kind of a stretch to the front of your abs. Then when you go back, a little trick you can do, because the tendency is to do this by accident, and remember we said it's against the posture rules, is to squeeze your abs when you pull back. And what that does is it helps keep your pelvis long, or your lower back long, so your pelvis stays nice and underneath. So going front, pull the stomach in. Front, pull the stomach in. Now notice I can still talk to you, so I'm not going front, hold my breath, front, hold my breath, okay? I can still talk. So you want to make sure eventually too that you're not with it pulling back, okay? Here, nice and front and back. Now let's put this into our next step. So what we're gonna actually do is make a diamond, and then we turn it into a circle. So what's going to happen here is your knees are nice and bent. Again, find that posture, always key. I'm gonna have you slide your hips over to your left. Okay, so we're gonna slide. That's the first part of our diamond. The next part is going to be going towards your computer right now, or whatever you're watching on, to the front. So push front. Then the third one is going to your right here, and then the fourth is going back and pulling that stomach in. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep this going. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what I want you to do is, instead of going dun, 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 I want you to just round as you travel from each point. So the points are the same, but we turn it into a circle by rounding to the next position, okay? So find that posture. We go side. Now round, 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 round to the front. Round, 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 round to the side. Round, round, round to the back. Da, 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 da. Keep it going around. This one really ends up just feeling like a really I don't know, deep stretch, I think is the best way to say it. It feels more of a stretch, whereas the last movement is harsh, and so it's gonna feel more muscle-like contraction. Okay, with it? So we're going around like this, like so. Keep this going. Now, some things to note. Just keep following me as I give you corrections. Don't let your chest do this. You're not on, I don't know, a little weeble wobble type thing, okay? Shoulders nice and back. Okay, trying to keep that chest still. It gets easier over time and your range of motion builds over time as you stretch more and more, okay? The other thing is you're definitely going to feel, and I remember that being a big thing for me in the beginning, that the weight shift is like, whoa, in the feet. Try to keep it, yes, I switch from a little bit in my toes, the weight a little bit for you into the right, into not quite the heels, but a little bit, and then a little bit this way. But remember what I was saying about the arch of your foot? You want to keep that in contact with the floor the whole time. So you might be feeling like this a little bit in your feet, like a little shift from 1 to 2, but my arch is always staying nice and connected, and I'm not letting that weight shift so much that I feel like I'm falling forward, back, left, or right. Okay, with this. Now, let's go the other way. So diamond first. You're gonna go boom, front, side, back. One more diamond. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now around, side and front and side and back and side and front and side and back and side and front and side and back and side and front and side and back. Nice. Keep this going. You'll also notice that one direction feels harder than the other. That is extremely normal. We're dominant in our hips the same way we're dominant in our feet and our hands. Now it may vary, you know, from each body part, but it's very normal for you to have a dominant direction that your body just prefers. Okay, and keep this going nice in here. So something we can do just for a quick little exercise is we're going to go 1 circle and a half, 1 circle and a half. So let's go through that. Push into your left first. So we go left, front, right, back. Now the left, front, stop on the right, change. Now we're ready this direction. So front, left, back, right, around, and stop. 1 and a half, change. 1 and a half, change. 1 and a half, change. Last time, 1 and a half, change. Very good. The third and final movement before the combination today is going to be a hip figure 8. Now in belly dance, figure 8s can be done on a horizontal plane or a vertical plane. Today we are going to be doing horizontal. Okay, and what that movement, just so I quickly can show you, looks like is this, okay? It's very good at getting dexterity in the hips and getting you prepared for more advanced technique as we go. So let's get straight into it. Posture again. Toes forward, knees bent, pelvis here, roll back. Good, okay? Now, the first thing I want to talk about is just being able to twist your hips front and back. Usually this, and just follow along, is one of the more natural things because we have all these other dances and things that this is normal with. Now, a couple things I want you, as you're just practicing twisting your hips front and back, is one, my knees are not straightening and bending as I do this, okay? They are staying relatively soft. They might straighten just a tiny bit, but not so much that you would recognize a difference in my hips or even my legs that much, okay? The other thing that happens is we get the arm reaction, yeah? So you wanna keep your hands as if they're stuck on something, they're placed on something here, and they cannot move, okay? So just your hips are going front and back, okay? Now, that also means the chest. If for some reason then you're still able to move your chest side to side, you want to keep it to the front as much as possible, okay? So this is a good preparation for the movement. Now, to actually get into the movement, what we're going to imagine, I like to use an analogy of that you're standing on an X. So if I had an X right here and I was standing on X marks the spot, that's where I am, okay? So bend your knees down here. What we're gonna do is you're gonna start by taking your left hip and you're going to twist it to the front underneath you. Boom. Now if you do that, if you're imagining that X, now your hips are in line with one of the lines of the X, yeah? Now, what we're gonna do here is use that concept of that hip slide that was hidden in that hip circle. And you're going to slide your hip, trying to go to the end of that line on the X. So remember this line, you're trying to push your hip to this point, okay? As much as you can go. Now, what you're gonna do from here, I'm just showing you my arms for visual learning. They don't actually do this. So what's gonna take is you're gonna take this hip and you're going to twist it to the back. So you're doing like this hip twist, but now it's more stretched out. So we're here, and I'm gonna take this hip here, and I'm gonna twist it to the back until I'm in line with this line here, okay? Now my hip is kind of pushing more to the back of the room, so what I'm gonna do is slide all the way on the line of the X and keep repeating. Just trust your body, okay? Twist it to the back, now I'm on this line, push. Twist my hip to the back, 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 keep it going. If your technique kind of goes, you're moving your arms, your knees are bending straight a little too much, that is okay, just to get the idea of the movement first. Now, keep it going. Something I do want to say, everybody learns a little different. Some people need this really detailed slide and around, slide and around, slide and around. Other people, they can just think, I'm making a figure 8 from bird's eye view. Same bird's eye view for that hip circle. So it's going figure 8, figure 8, figure 8, figure 8, but that doesn't work for everybody. So that's why you can kind of choose which one works for you. If the X is too complicated, figure 8. If the figure 8 doesn't work, do the X, yeah? So here, again, twisting forward, around and here. Now, as you're doing this, I'm gonna start giving you little corrections, okay? Just like before. So you do feel a weight shift. My weight is a little bit on this side. Now it's a little bit on this side, a little bit on this side, yeah? Okay? But, excuse me, what you want to make sure here is that it's, again, not so much of a weight shift that I feel like I'm falling over or I'm rolling to the outside of my ankle, okay? It's nice and stable in my feet. You let your knees relax. Like I said, you'll feel a little bit of a change in them as far as straightening and bending, but not so much that you start to get this really big vertical. That comes from really straightening the knee, okay? That's what you do not want for this particular movement, okay? Nice, keep it going. Now, the last thing I want to add before we move into our combination is that you can reverse this. So instead of twisting to the front and then to the back, you can take that same hip, twist it to the back, slide, and come around to the front. Just for you to experiment, I always like to give as much as possible in every tutorial. Okay, and again, you may find that one direction is going to be easier for you than the other. One hip will feel better than the other. It's very, very normal, okay? So this is the hip figure 8 on that horizontal plane. So let's get into this combination. This is the exciting part when we start to all put it together. You can dance with any music you want and you really start to dance in your home, which is a beautiful thing. Now, what I want to say for this is if at any point anything is like, whoa, Victoria, slow down. That's the beauty of this video. You can rewind. And also a night of sleep is amazing what it can do for your brain. For some reason, something about sleeping processes dance very well. So trust your body, follow along with me today, and then just rewind if you need and rewatch, okay? So let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do is start with that figure 8. I'm going to figure 8 with your, if you're mirroring me, with your right hip. So that right hip is going to twist to the front, and I'm going to figure 8 over to your right, and then we're going to figure 8 over to your left and come back, okay? That's all so far. So we have figure 8, figure 8. Now, what I'm going to do is a hip circle, but this time I'm going to start my hip circle sliding over this way. So slide to the side, front, slide, pull back, and, okay? So far we have figure 8, and hip circle around, okay? Now, I'm gonna have you move your feet now. So you're gonna step back with your left foot, right? So stepping back, I'm going to kind of relax my arms down, you'll see as we go, and slide into a pose here. Now, what you wanna think about with this is don't think too hard, and you wanna think that you're turning away from your audience and you don't like me anymore, okay? So I'm gonna step back and I don't like you. Okay, I like you, but I don't like you right now. Okay, so turn back here, and then I'm gonna come back around and I'm going to roll my shoulders here for about 4 counts, okay? Now, with this, you have 4 shoulder rolls. And we didn't really go through this technique, but this technique, it can be very natural with movement. So roll your shoulders as you feel. And this is when you decide that you like your audience again. So I'm away and I'm like, oh, hi, da, 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 da. Okay, whatever feels good. If 4 feels too much, you can always do 2. Okay, so let's go through what we have so far. We have figure 8s, hips circle around, step back, look away, look back, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, in this position, I'm just letting my front foot kind of rest to the front. We don't need to be too particular about it. Now, what I'm going to do here is we're going to do 3 hip bumps, but there's going to be a subtle weight shift. And I'm already having you move your feet and move because that's where you really get, dexterity is not the right word, but that type of style of thing with dance, okay? Not just standing underneath you. So what I'm going to do is you're going to turn this front foot where your feet are more in line this way, so you're preparing for a hip bump. But what the hip bump is going to be doing is going towards you, the screen, and away. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to hip bump for you to the right, left, right. Now as I do that, I'm going to face you for a second. I have a subtle weight shift with it, okay? I'm here. So my weight goes boom, boom, boom. Let's go the other way. Boom, boom, boom. Trust your body, okay? So here we have, we're going to go right, left, right. And then what I'm going to do is pick up, because my weight is on this foot here. I'm going to pick up that back foot, rotate around, just a little half step. And we're going to do the same thing, but now starting with the left hip. Left, right, left. And then we're going to stop again and bring the feet together to start everything over and over. We're going to talk through this. I will eventually give you counts for those who like counts. So we are here. Find your posture. We have figure 8s, hips circle around, step back. You don't like me. You like me, like me, like me, like me. Now we go. Place that foot. 1, 2, 3, change. 1, 2, 3, front. And figure 8. Hip circle around. Step back. You don't like me. You like me. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and. Okay? Now, like I said, I'm going to give you counts. If counts work for you, great. They don't always work for everybody. So it's there for those who want to learn this way. So what's going to be happening when we have the music? That first figure 8 is going to take 4 counts. So I'm going to go 1, 2 this direction, 3, 4 this direction. Then that hip circle takes a full 4 counts. So 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to step back and look away. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to look at you. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? And you guessed it, on the hips. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, change. 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So with this, you can also do it on the other direction, the other starts. For today, we keep with one direction. Now we're going to do this with music. If at any point, like I said, it feels crazy, you can slow it down, no problem. Tempo. 5, 6, here we go. Figure 8. Hip circle around. Step back, 2, 3, 4. Shoulders, 6, 7, 8. Hip, 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 change. Hip, hip, and. Figure 8. Hip circle around. Step back, look away. Shoulder, 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 shoulder. Ra, ra, ra. Hip, hip, hip. Keep going. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Figure 8. Keep it going. Good job, guys. Around. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Step. Have fun with it, guys. Hello. Yeah. Very good. Amazing, amazing job, guys, today. You learned so much, and you have this combination to keep you going. Now, like I said earlier, sleep does something beautiful for dance. You go to sleep tonight, you wake up tomorrow, replay the video, and you'll notice you feel a lot better with the movements, especially if you're brand new to these. I also highly suggest rewatching this video down the road, because in the beginning you're just getting the movement, but then the next time you watch it, you'll start to pick up on all those little tidbits I threw out there for you, and you can really clean up your technique and make it just perfection. Now, if you liked this video, please share it with your friends, comments below, because if you did, I will make more of these for you guys. Now, and thank you so much for watching me, and have a beautiful rest of your day.